They deserve our love surrounding them to guide them to success and to prosperity in our communities.
Naja.
And where do you go to school?
Randolph Heights.
And what grade are you in?
Second.
You like school? Oh, good. What are you going to be when you finish?
Third.
What?
Third grade.
Oh, no, but what are you going to do after you get out of school?
I don't really know. Maybe I'm going to get a job and then
Good morning. My name is Paul Slack. I am pastor of New Creation Church in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I am the president of Isaiah. We're here today to call for a moratorium on all nonviolent suspensions. A national resource is being destroyed. Yes. What is that national resource, you ask? Young black lives, our children. Too often, too frequently, we've been locking them up instead of training them up. Call for an end to the school to prison pipeline.
My kids go to the Robbinsdale District schools, and I am here to talk about my son Malik, who is 12 years old and is in 6th grade. I should not have to teach my 12-year-old son what to do if a police officer encounters him so that he won't get shot. I should be able to be comfortable that my child will graduate from school and be able to go on to colleges instead of being locked inside the prison walls.
We've heard repeated stories of punitive discipline, such as a 7-year-old being put into a squad car due to nonviolent disobedience. I have witnessed young children between the ages of 5 and 9 wrestled to the ground and physically restrained due to nonviolent infractions.
When statewide, 60% of the disciplinary action happens against students of color, when statewide we make up only 30% of the total population, that's a problem. In the metropolitan school district, 90% of the disciplinary action happens to students of color, mostly black students and mostly black male. And only 1.7% of the disciplinary action happens to white students. That is not only a problem, it's a glaring problem. The St. Paul Black Interdenominational Ministerial Alliance supports Isaiah in its declaration to end the crisis of mass suspension and to divert the pipeline to prison to a pipeline to opportunities for our children. Yes. Number 3, to remove police from schools and separate the criminal justice and the education system.
Yes. The time for doing just a few kids what we know is right for all kids is over. We know that when students are suspended, particularly when they end up in a cycle of suspension, they're more likely to drop out of school or more likely to end up in our criminal justice system.
And if they leave without a diploma, we know that they are 6 times more likely, if they're a black male, to wind up in the criminal justice system. It is completely unacceptable. Susan Montgomery approached me last year and said that my child was a student in the Minneapolis Public School District. And the first time that he was arrested, he was 6 years old. Led away from the school in handcuffs. This is a child with special needs, with mental health issues, who not only was being criminalized within the school, but he was being marginalized. We need to remove school resource officers out of those schools and stop creating a police state and start focusing on a proper learning environment for our children.
We call on a moratorium on suspensions. A moratorium, that means that they need to stop. We call on all school systems everywhere to adopt the federal guidelines. We call for the intentional encroachment of the criminal justice and education system by the removal of police from schools with the replacement with counselors. There are 2 schools that are putting a moratorium on mass suspension. Is Mr. Hudson still here?
One of them is Northview Junior High.
Northview Junior High School in ICO School District?
The other one is
my son was written up when a 6'4" football player hit him in his head, caused them to have stitches. He actually had to go to the hospital because of a no-tolerance policy. My son is not 6'4". He is my height, and he's 20 pounds less than I am. and did not hit the person. But because of a no tolerance policy, he was written up.
Ahmad.
Where do you go to school?
St. Peter Claver.
How do you like it?
It's okay.
Good. What grade are you in?
6.
Limon.
And where do you go to school?
St. Peter Claver. Julius.
And where do you go to school?
Capitol Hill.
And what grade are you in?
5th.
5th grade. Do you like school? How are your grades?
Good.